thanks for having me on, guys. This is awesome. I love gear, love talking all about it. So yeah, this is going to be really fun.
I'm so excited. You guys are, everybody, please share this out. Hit that like button. Follow these guys.
You guys have created a phenomenal space with Dealcasters Live. I am so excited to be here.
How's it going?
Who was talking to you, Siri? I said the A lady. Ooh.
You're a live streamer. There's so many people who learn from you, who watch you.
We build influence by this level of tenacity in our commitment to consistency.
Because people really want that kind of conversation and relationship.
Yeah, and your show won't be boring.
Right.
You know.
Oh my God, I love you guys. Chris, you're just amazing. Jim, so are you. You guys are the best hosts ever, I think.
Just stop, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Dealcasters Live. My name is Chris Stone. I'm at Castahead at castahead.net. And the gentleman on your left side of your screen making me look as invisible as, I don't know, as invisible as Casper the Friendly Ghost. Doing marketing, the Marine Corps. I was trying to think of something that was white. Right? Because that's the theme of today's show is white noir. Jim Fuse of Fusion Marketing, Semper Fi. How are we doing today, Monday?
I'm doing great and hoping that everyone's hearing us on Amazon because we did test through this. We had a problem last time, but hopefully everyone can hear us. If you can hear us, let us know in the chat. We'd appreciate that. I mean, everything's, I can hear you, you can hear me. So as far as I know, it's all working, but it's the first day of August. Can you believe it?
Oh, man, it's great.
I mean,
and I can't think of a better way to kick off this particular show, Jim. I mentioned the theme was white. This is not going to be a necessarily a long show, but it is a special show. And our friends at Shure, shout out to Shure, one of the greatest, if not the greatest microphone company in the world, has sent us. I'm actually speaking into one right this very second. This is a limited edition, Amazon exclusive, Shure MV7 microphone. Jim, he's holding it up, so he's able to. Jim, we're going to go ahead and give you sort of the look here, so you can kind of show everybody and give everybody a really good look at this limited edition, Amazon exclusive. Shure MV7 podcast microphone. Now, they actually use the word podcast microphone here for this, but you can use this for vocals of all kinds. It's not just for podcasting, obviously live streaming, it's voiceovers, just a fantastic microphone. I've got it hooked up. And Jim, I know you're using the black MV7 to speak into right now, but you've got the white one there for visibility's sake. So the other thing that we want to make mention of is today launches the pre-order for the Shure White Noir, MV7 White Noir. And so we've got the pre-order live in the Amazon carousel below us and also on replay. But it is actually released into the wild on the 15th. So we've got a couple of weeks for that pre-order, but it is limited. Now, how limited, I don't know, Jim, unless you know some deep, dark secrets that maybe Shure has shared with you.
I'm going to guess until they run out.
That was good. That's good. That's a really
that's a pretty good guess. Huh?
Yeah, I would say that's a really good guess for sure. So there we go. The one other thing I'm going to do really quickly is kind of show you and give you a little bit of a closer look here. Let me get the right look here, Jim. Sorry, that's not it either. You would think at some point, there we go. So now we've got the, I'm going to call this the white Noir cam. What do you think?
Noir cam.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this, Mike, and the way I've got it set up for myself is I've got a low profile boom arm, so it's coming up, and so that's why it's kind of looking upside down to you right now. But it has this mute button that's right here. That's the lock button. The mute button's over here on this side. But the beauty here is that if you want to mute yourself, if you've got yourself plugged in via USB to your computer, you have these buttons and you can make adjustments to your gain as well as how you can mute yourself. All of these things don't make noise or vibration in your microphone with the MV7. You also can lock this. I mean, Jim, so I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit sloppy when it comes to doing live streams, as you can tell. And so when you lock it, you don't have to worry about accidentally muting yourself or accidentally adjusting your gain. So you can lock it by holding down both of those things. So everything you can pretty much, for the most part, control everything that you need for a live stream or a podcast right here on the mic, which is really cool. And I'm going to show you some other things you can see on the right part of your screen. This is the Shure Plus Motive app that you download for free when you get this microphone, and you can also use it with other Shure microphones like the MV88, which is also in the carousel, which is another USB microphone that Shure has. And what this allows you to do is you can mute it from here. If I wanted to mute it, you can mute it from here, as you know, and it syncs from the microphone itself. So if I'm going to press the mute button right now on the mic, you're going to see it mute in the software in the upper right-hand corner.
And I think what's important to point out there is that you have to have it plugged in USB to use this. I've got my MV7 plugged into the Rodecaster Pro 2, so I have to do the muting from the Rodecaster. I can't, there's no mute button if you're not using the USB. And I think that's something people should understand, the difference there. And you can see Chris is adjusting his gain all on the microphone, but that's because he's using it as a USB microphone.
That's right. And so you can adjust your EQ. And here's the thing is, like, if you're someone, this is a great microphone right out of the box. Even if you're not someone that is a super skilled high level podcaster, you're going to get like that great Shure broadcast level sound, and you can just kind of plug and play. And this software just helps you to kind of graduate. Okay, well, you know what? I think I need a little bit more low end. I want to get a little more Howard Stern, or something, whatever, in your voice. You can do that with some of these presets. So they have this thing called auto level. And so in auto level, you can pick your tone. You can have a more dark tone. You can, stay with a more natural tone if you want to stay with a more natural tone, or if you want to get more bright, like maybe you have a more of a woofy sound, or just a glorious Barry White's voice like Jim Fuse. Maybe you want to go bright or something. So you can set those, and it will give you that EQ. It'll give you that sound, and then you can kind of like, oh, you know what? That's what I like. I would suggest always leaving it on near, and as we always talk about, Jim, the one of the best ways to get the best sound out of any mic is to speak as close as you can to it. And right. So you want to stay near for it. And plus your voice doesn't bounce off of all the other stuff. But for whatever reason, if the mic needs to be further away from you, there is a far setting for this. You have got a monitor mix that you can do here. If you're changing your microphone to another microphone, like I've got an MV88 that I also use as well. This thing here, and I'm going to switch over to this right here. Let me get this in to be able to show you this. So here, if I were to hit live meters, now you're seeing my voice as I speak it's actually, so it's a nice little cool little thing for you to be able to, have that going on a live stream. And then if it's a little bit too obnoxious, right, and you just want to hit night mode, then it dims a little bit. So that's pretty cool. It's another little cool function there of that. So that's kind of the basic settings of auto, but manual then allows you to, this is where you can go in and get, really dial in what you really want to be able to do in terms of EQ. There's also a limiter. So this keeps you from your voice hitting a certain level and then just distorting. So it's going to prevent it from clipping. It's not a terrible idea to keep that on. It will affect your voice, a little bit. So like personally, I don't use a limiter, but I just try to keep my gain, in the yellow, so to speak, -6 to -12 dB. And then compressor, and the difference between compressor and limiter basically is if you get quiet and loud, your compressor is going to kind of pull it into a certain range. So it's going to squash you down if you're getting too loud, and if you're a little bit quiet at times, it's going to kind of pull your voice up. And so you want to be careful with compression, definitely. But you do have 3 different settings here: light, medium, and heavy, to be able to do that. And of course the live meters, which I had mentioned before. So the Shure Plus Motive app is really good. It's something to where if you don't want to mess with an interface, you just need a really good solo microphone. I use this MV7, the black MV7 that I have. I use this to travel. It's a really good, solid, rugged microphone, and you can plug it right into a computer and use it and not have to worry about it. But when you wanted to have it, and when you come home and you've got a really good interface that you can plug it into, you can utilize that with an XLR. So it's just a really good microphone. And I'm stoked.
Catherine, and Catherine has a good question. She's like, with this mic, and probably more so with you, do you prefer it with the USB or through an interface?
Through an interface. I think generally most people can't tell the difference. So, if I were right now plugged in via XLR, and I would just go, here's me talking XLR, and then I switch over to USB, here's me speaking, you would be able to tell a difference if I've changed the settings. But generally, you're not going to, unless you're someone who studies sound a lot, you're not going to be able to tell too much of a difference between the two. Unless you're, broadcast level, type of deal, you're not really going to tell that much of a difference. So for me, when it comes to USB and XLR, it's just about functionality and versatility. So I don't mind a USB microphone. If I'm going to make a choice between having one that is just a pure XLR microphone, it varies. I hate to hedge like that, Catherine. So I don't know if that mentioned. It's really about what you're using it for. And sometimes you can get a mic that's half this price that sounds better for your voice. But I just feel like, the MV7, when that thing came out, it is like most people can't tell the difference between this and a Shure SM7B, believe it or not. And so I think, it's just a matter of seeing how it works with your voice. What's up, Richard? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the white Noir version of Dealcasters today. And so Catherine says, I'm using it for creating world domination. Okay, well, in that case, I would highly recommend an XLR microphone for world domination.
Yeah, definitely want an interface for world domination.
Yes, you can't dominate the world without an interface. Geez.
That's right. Because with an interface, we can do stuff like this.
Yes.
Can't do that,
of course,
with USB.
yes. Very, very cool. So anyway, if you're just now joining us and you have not followed us on Amazon, if you're on any of the other tubes, come on over to Dealcasters.live, which is over on Amazon. We broadcast on multi-stream on all over the place, but we want you to come on over to Amazon. Why? Because why wouldn't you want this amazing microphone that we have right here, which is, well, not right here. God, can I get, this is what you get for changing stuff on the fly, Jim. Can I find the right,
I didn't know.
no.
You wanted me to show it?
This is amazing. I'm just going to go through all of my Stream Deck buttons right now. Let me just go ahead. There we go. Jeez. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Shure MV7. This is a white Noir limited edition exclusive to Amazon. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're watching on LinkedIn and you're watching over on Twitch, it's like you're not going to be able to go anywhere else but Amazon. So why not come on over? The pre-order goes live. It went live today, early today. And there you go. This is it. This is the beauty. This is the beauty. Went live today and ships on the 15th is from what I understand. Right.
Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks it'll start shipping. Unless you are fortunate like we are, thank you again to the folks at Shure for letting us get a hold of this so we could share this with the world, because this is nice. You know, it's like it's funny. Like I have a Logitech stream cam that is white, right? Because so many are, you know, if you want to call it just black. So it's, you know, sometimes you want to just change things up a little. So it's a sharp looking mic.
Yeah, the one other thing that I would add, Jim, and I'm going to hold up my the black version of the MV7, is that, you know, a lot of people go, well, you know, you guys talk about doing shock mounts all the time with microphones and how important a shock mount is to your sound, which is true. I guess added value of the Shure MV7, which is also built into the Shure SM7B, is the built-in shock absorption in this particular microphone. So you're really the only need you have is this thing called a yoke. And so you screw this thing into your boom arm, and it is already built in with shock absorption. You don't have to worry about any of that. You just kind of put this into your boom arm, and your boom arm is going to keep your microphone off of your desk. And, you know, if you're tapping, you're doing any of that stuff, it's not going into your broadcast. It's not going into your podcast. It's not going into your Zoom calls. I mean, how many times, Jim, have you been on a podcast, Zoom call or whatever, and you just there's all this just random tapping and shuffling of papers and all kinds of stuff like that. And, you know, it's just a matter of getting, you know, if you put a microphone in a stand that sits on a desk, it's just going to pick up those vibrations. And so this has got that built-in shock absorption. Put it up on a boom arm, hang it with that yoke. In the case of this white Noir MV7 that I've got, which is right here, I've got it on a low-profile boom arm, so there's no you're not hearing things shuffle around when I'm moving around like that. So
yeah, and Christoph Trapp, great to see you, and please feel free to share your shop link in the chat. Christoph's another Amazon influencer here. But yeah, Christoph, this is either USB or XLR. Chris, I did want to ask you, because you talked about how you could even use this if you're on the road because of the fact that it is USB. Maybe you don't have an interface.
Yep.
But you can actually put this like on a desktop like tripod, right? With that mount. Does that take anything special, or actually will it work with that MV88 tripod?
It will. So yeah, so it's any adapter you know that's you know it's going to be able to screw into that, because it has that built-in shock absorption. You're not going to get it's not going to pick up a lot of that noise that you would get on a lot of other microphones, a lot of other dynamic microphones. So yeah, I mean, I always like to have a boom arm, but like when you're traveling on the road, you just, you know, you're not going to be able to bring all of the stuff that you have in your studio. And so if you can get a mic that plugs in USB that you can just put anywhere on anything and not have to worry about a shock mount and a boom arm, then it's just one less thing you have to worry about when you take stuff on the road. And from a size perspective, it's pretty small. You know, that's the other thing. The other thing, that the underrated part of this is like it's a little power packed little pill. You know, it's not a huge monstrous microphone, and taking nothing away from the Shure SM7B, it's great. I mean, if I had a Shure SM7B in front of me, I'd be maybe talking into that as well. I mean, but it is bigger. So the MV7 is a smaller mic, and you're going to get a lot comparative power. So everything I know I learned from Jim and Chris. You are not telling the truth, Christoph Trapp.
He's too kind. Christoph Trapp.
It's been a while, Christoph. I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since we've had a conversation, but it's coming around football season, so you and Jim are going to have to talk about the Commanders.
That's right.
And I know hope springs eternal
I know
here.
It's not in the carousel, but since you mentioned it, Chris, right? I've got my Commandalorian helmet, and I may paint it Commandalorian colors. I haven't decided yet.
God, you need to grow like an afro like John Riggins, and then put that thing on. Remember John Riggins had that big old afro.
I remember that. I don't know if my hair is capable of that. It would get really curly. I will say that. That's why I usually keep it short. I'm not wanting to get curly hair.
I'm getting excited for football season because my Detroit Lions are going to be on HBO Hard Knocks. So yes,
you at least get to see him every week.
I don't know what to think. It's like I'm so positive about them, but I know they're only good for 5 or 6 wins. So what are you going to do?
But that's more than last year, right?
Yeah.
They're moving in the right direction.
Right.
I mean, I have no idea what Washington's going to do, but we digress. Back to this great stuff from Shure. And I have another microphone, Chris. If you want to give me an overhead look that we got from Shure, that is a pretty cool. This is I don't have it hooked up right now.
That's
but
the 55, right?
The 55, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. It's kind of got that retro crooner look. We call it the Chad Ia Peterson microphone because he likes to wear his hat. And I couldn't figure out. I don't think this lights up like the Heil fins do because we did try the Phantom Power. But it is a nice looking mic and very heavy. Can be used for self-defense
if you can show the front of it. Let me see the front of it. Okay, very cool. Is it okay? Yeah, let me show that logo if you could. That's right in the center. There you go. Is that like an old school Shure logo in there? Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Of course,
and then even
Detroit
here,
Lions colors.
Right. Super 55.
Now, does that say headphone on it underneath the 55? What does it say underneath the 55?
Oh, now you're going to make me put my glasses on if I can find them. All right. It says, it just says super cardioid dynamic microphone. That's
okay. I thought it said headphone. So I'm the one with the terrible vision.
That's okay. You're looking from a long distance at my, I don't know how you could see that far from your place.
The great thing about the 55 is the handling. You can handle that. You can hold it in your hand and kind of move it around, and it's going to still be clear. You're not going to hear it. You're not going to hear that. All that handling noise sound with that.
Right.
So. Yeah, Jim, I'm thinking you should wire that above you and have it drop down. You can grab it. Let's get ready for Dealcasters.
Let's get ready to rumble. That's right.
There you go.
I have to work on that. Maybe get Jody Krangle to record that for us. But so that's another cool one. So I'll go back to my solo look if you want to switch us back to the two of us here. But this new Shure is a really nice looking mic. I think I'm gonna come up with some ways to use it more often myself because you can never have too many mics unless you're Chris Stone and Jim Fuse.
Well, I mean, every microphone that I have, Jim, is either black or like a dark gray, and I kind of like having a mic like this that breaks it up. And the other thing too is like I wear a lot of black shirts.
Yes.
And so when you've got a black shirt and you've got a white mic like this, it's going to pop a little bit, And I think for a lot of people, visibility. Sometimes people they don't want the mic in the shot. They don't want the big cans either, So that's why we have the Shure Aonic 215s. wired, but there's also wireless in the carousel because you don't want that look to where you've got big headphones or big cans on your ears, which is fine. The MV7 is a microphone that can stay visible, but is not too visible. It's not distracting in the shot, especially if you're wanting to, keep eye contact with people. But at the same time, you want to keep a mic that's close to your mouth because you want the best sound possible, right? I could switch it, with the black MV7, right? I suppose with a white shirt, maybe the black MV7 works. And then maybe with a black shirt, the white. You see, we have options, Jim.
Now you have options, right?
We've got options.
It's almost like having shoes.
Is that what it's become? It's become like my wife is with shoes. We are with microphones. You know what? It's actually not that far off. Yes, that is actually not that far off. It's like that for headphones for me. Yes, it really is like that for headphones. And so what a segue this is, Jim. I know you've got the Aonic. Do you have the 40s or the 50s in the?
I have the 40s. I can pull them out here.
Because I've got the 50s, but they're upstairs in my office. But I'm happy to bring the Aonic 50s. So for a while, you're comparing mics to shoes. That's like I am with headphones. I have headphones from Sony, from Sennheiser, from Heil, from Shure. I'm a little bit nerdy when it comes to that. My wife comes down, she's like, "What are you doing with all these headphones?" I was like, "What about your shoes?" Right? Somehow it's different though. But anyway.
Somehow, yeah. Does it stop the conversation though?
Kind of. I never win. I'm not trying to.
But but these are extremely comfortable. I know you love the 50s that you have as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this just you can basically wear these all day. You can answer phone calls with it. It does give you both I want to say noise canceling as well as isolation if you do want to hear things.
Yep.
Not something I would go running in. Now, Chris, with the 50s,
yep,
would you say, is this something that you feel like you could actually do editing with? Do you feel like the quality's there for doing
yeah, so the 40s and the 50s, even though they are wireless and you connect with Bluetooth, they also have a wired option. So my only thing with there's a couple of things. Sometimes headphones they stick some extra stuff in there to make it sound better, like a little bit more extra low end or whatever. So there are certain types of headphones that aren't good for monitoring. These are, but I rarely, if ever, will use them wireless or Bluetooth. I will always plug them in so you're getting the most accurate, but that's just for monitoring. I think just for general use, I've had them on my ears for hours and hours and hours every day. And they just are really good. And then you'll notice too, I think with these 40s, Jim, you sync it up with your app and you can dial in the certain amount of environment mode, right? And so I think that's important too. Like when you have sound cancellation, noise cancellation, you can shut out everything so where you're just hearing what's coming in, which is fine. But what if you need to make sure that you hear something, like maybe in your house, maybe you want to be able to hear your dog, or you want to be able to hear, kids or whatever. You can dial in a certain amount of environment to where you don't completely tune out everything, which can be dangerous. But when you get on a plane or something, you absolutely want to dial out everything. And so it has that option to do either or. So they're really good headphones.
Yeah. And then I've got a couple other things here. I've got the Freeze. So let me do the overhead here. So the Freeze come in their own case.
Yep.
And these are nice. You actually said you went running in these, right?
Oh yeah, I've been running with them. Now though they will get wet because it's a little sweaty. So you'll notice if you pull that back, they'll get a little wet. So if I do go running with them, when I come back, I usually take the ends or the tips and pull that back a little bit and kind of dry it out and dab it and get it dried. Otherwise, it'll sit in there and that's not a good thing.
And then these cases will allow up to 3 recharges. So this gonna last you pretty much all day. So these are nice. They're very, very comfortable. They do come with multiple guess we would call them earbud tips. So if you've got a different size that you need for your ear, so it would, and then it's got this case. So I like to I'll carry this like if I'm traveling, and I just keep them in there so I don't lose them. A little bit bigger than it's bigger than an AirPod case, but it's also lasts a lot longer than AirPods. So that's one thing I like about it. And then the other one, which actually, when you I think you've almost got me convinced. That is these are the Ionic 215 over the ear, and these things, like if I in fact, I'll put one in. Let's make sure I got my ears right here. I think it's this one.
And that case is chargeable case?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
How many hours do you get on this?
I want to say
For
that
charge.
this one is another one that gets you the stats on it. It is
32
32
hours.
hour battery life. So I think it's 8
Wow.
with 3 recharges as well. So, this could last you, pretty much all day. But you can see how this isn't going anywhere, right? This is solid. I can, I could be dancing, jumping, whatever. It's not going to go anywhere. It does have the Bluetooth technology. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get. It is IPX4, so it is sweat and water resistant. So
Yeah, don't go swimming with them, but yeah. And you got a marathon coming up, Jim, and with 32 hours,
I could get done with the marathon before the batteries run out. That at least I can say.
I would hope so, man. I would hope it's like 8 hours without charging, and then you get an additional whatever the math is.
Yeah, 3 more charges, you can get up to 32.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you could probably do an ultra marathon, and those would be fine.
No, I wouldn't. I don't. Marathon's enough, Chris. Let's not get crazy.
Come on, Jim.
I'll do an ultra when you do an ultra.
Okay, deal. That's a deal. That's an absolute deal.
I'm gonna regret I ever said that.
So if you're just now joining us, my name is Chris. That's Jim. We're Dealcasters, and we're excited because today is the launch day of the pre-order for the one and only Shure MV7 limited edition white noir Amazon exclusive, and we are just stoked that Shure sent us each one of these to talk to you about. And if you've got any questions whatsoever, please let us know. Please follow us on Amazon. If you're watching us on any other place, come on over to Amazon. That's where the white noir version is, and we made it easy. Just go to dealcasters.live. You'll come right here to this show, and where you can pre-order this amazing microphone. Jim and I both have the MV7, the black version, and it's just like a good pair of shoes. The black's just not going to work with everything, right? You're going to need the white, and some people, that's their vibe for sure. And so we're stoked that our friends at Shure have sent us these, and we get to talk into them and tell you all about the Shure MV7 white noir, the white buffalo, the white whale, the white unicorn. No, it's the white noir, not the white no-ire, or a lot of people, they don't know how to pronounce that, Jim.
Yes.
And they don't even know what
sure.
noir means.
You corrected me.
I'm probably not even saying it correctly in my Detroit accent. I'm not even saying it properly. Noir. Yeah, here in the South they say Noir. What Noir?
What Noirs? What noise? They say noise.
That's
how you
right.
spell noise in Southern.
That's right. So the MV88 you've got in the carousel as well. I don't have mine handy, James. I'm making you work today, aren't I? And what I'll do is, if anybody wants to check this out, this software that we demoed for the White Noir MV7 also works with this microphone that Jim's got on the screen, which is the Shure MV88 Plus, which is a fantastic microphone to use with your phone. And so we talked earlier, Jim, about having really great microphones for travel. And so if you're someone that has a great new iPhone 13 with these fantastic cameras that they've got, this works really well with your phone, Jim. And I think you've got the kit, right? The video kit.
Yes.
That it comes with. How have you been able to use that? Is that something that
I need to play with it more, but I think this is what we're talking about. I probably just need to find the adjustment, right? This is what I could put. We could actually put the white Noir on, right? If on the mount up here.
You'd need an adapter. Yeah, you'd need an adapter that you could put on there. Your adapter that came with your Heil shock mount will work with it.
Okay.
So you screw that into the bottom of the yoke right here, and then you could screw that onto that. It's a Manfrotto tripod that comes with that. So that's the other thing too, is that Shure MV88 kit. That tripod is Manfrotto. It's like, it's not just some, whatever no name company. Yeah. So that's the other great part of that. And what I really loved about that MV88 is when I plugged it in and I started using this Shure Plus Motive app, is it's a stereo microphone. And it got me a little worried at first, because I was like, okay, if I'm doing live streaming and podcasting, I want it mono. I want it straight down the middle. I don't want things left or right. And it's okay, because you can dial that stereo spectrum down to, something like this, to where it does feel like it's in mono. And when I started doing that, I was like, this is actually a really good podcasting mic. So it's just another mic where if you want to go downsize even more from the MV7 and take something that's like minimalist with your phone, the MV88 is a really great option, I thought.
And the video kit also comes with an attachment that allows you to put your phone into it, plus put the microphone on top. Comes with the cables, whether you've got an Android or an iPhone, to allow you to hook it directly into the microphone. So I think it is, definitely, probably something we should play with, like when we're creating some of these vertical videos that we've been doing, just to see how that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Garen Belaney, apologies. He's been chiming in. We're not too late. He's been chiming in over on LinkedIn. Double mic, baby. That's right. That's right, Garen. So we're talking about the one and the only MV7, but today, Garen, is the White Noir pre-order launch on Amazon. This will be officially released into the wild on the 15th, and we're stoked that we get to talk about it today. And I wore my white shirt in your honor, Garen. So there you go. Look at that. What is up? Micro Studio represent. I think every micro studio that ships from Saskatchewan needs to have a white MV7 in it. What do you think, Jim?
I think that's a great idea.
That thing is crispy. That thing is crispy with 3 fire emojis. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Well, they do. Remember. What was that Canadian show? Doug, the guy.
Oh, SCTV.
Yeah.
Bob and Doug McKenzie, the Great White North. Oh yeah,
yes.
Heck yeah.
There you go. This is the microphone for the Great White North. So
yeah.
Come down to Amazon.com and maybe they'll ship it to you guys. I don't. I guess we should check if it's available on Amazon.ca. For our Canadian friends, but
I'm sure. Garen Belaney probably has, like, he's probably already got 40 of these things. Doug Lehman, breaking it down in layman's terms, he says he has the silver and the black, and he now needs the white mic in layman's terms.
See, it's like shoes. You gotta have one of each.
Exactly. Well, knowing Doug and how much he's with video, I'm sure he's that way with cameras. Cameras you can get very shoe-like with video for sure. Like, oh, you know what, this camera does this, or lenses, right? Lenses is another. Like, I haven't gotten too far down the rabbit hole with a lot of. I mean, there are some people that really just are way beyond me in terms of cameras and lenses, and I just know like Garen Bellany, he showed me a video that he had of when he launched Micro Studio and his courses and stuff. And in this video that he had on his website, I was like, dang. I said, what camera did you use? And he told me the camera, but he was like, it's not the camera, it's the lens. And I was like, really?
Right.
Because I think a lot of people are sort of mistaken. It's like, well, I need to get the 7500 or whatever from Sony. It's like, well, you might be able to get the 6000 and plop like a Sigma lens or a Sony lens that is just going to make that thing just crispy with 3 fire emojis.
Right. So we got an interesting comment from Nate from Dragon Blogger. He says, I had the MV7, beautiful sound quality, but couldn't get enough gain out of it for the life of me. And I think that brings up a good point, though, Chris, where you talk about microphones and how they work differently for each person's voice.
Couldn't get enough gain out of it. That's interesting. That's typically not. Well, I guess, Nate, was it something? Did you plug in USB? Did you plug in XLR? So if you plug in USB and you're using the Shure Plus Motive app, you've got a way to pull in the gain there. If you're plugging in XLR, then I would know. Then you want to figure out like what you've got for an interface. Like right now we're using Rodecaster Pros, and you can, the preamps on that have more than enough. So the one thing about the MV7 versus like the Shure SM7B, the SM7B is obviously people, that's like the broadcast, the holy grail, microphone, Joe Rogan's mic. And a lot of people had to use this thing called a cloud lifter with it, or a Fed head or something that would give it, because it's a gain hungry mic. You need to have, and so it's sort of like, getting a Lamborghini, but not being able to utilize everything. You have to give it, it's more of a gain hungry mic. Well, if you have an SM7B and you plug into this new Rodecaster Pro, you don't have to worry about it because it has enough gain for you to do that. The MV7 is not a gain hungry microphone like an SM7B is. So I guess I'm curious as far as the USB versus XLR, how what was done there.
Yeah, because I could see maybe if you were using USB where that could maybe be an issue with what your computer would allow. And if you had the app, I don't know how often they've updated the Motive app. But you're right, when you've got the interface, that's really going to be, I think, the driver of where you run into issues.
And so and if you don't have a halfway decent interface when you are using XLR in these microphones, you're really relying on the preamps of the interface. And so that's why, like you, Jim, I know you have the Focusrite Scarlett, fantastic preamps. They're not noisy. So when you turn something up gain-wise, you don't hear this, kind of noise that's in the background. You don't hear it with this Rodecaster Pro because it has these fantastic preamps that kick the gain in there without any additional noise. And yeah, Doug, you're right. I think the way to do this is, I don't know, and what might look kind of fresh is like to get a white pop filter.
Oh,
white on white. That might be kind of cool, or
maybe you could
different
get like
colors.
a Detroit Lions blue.
See, now we're talking. It's like shoes. It's like shoes. Well, you can get Washington Commanders colors too. That pukey red and mustard color. What kind?
I don't even know what the colors
I know.
are.
I don't know what it is. It's like I don't know. It's kind of red, brownish something. It's like if you took mustard and ketchup and mixed it up together. That's the color of the Washington Commanders.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
I'm not sure why they just didn't stick with the old colors and just slap the new logo on. I'm confused.
Yeah, so here, if here's an example here of the MV7 where you can add gain to your microphone. You can do it from here, but this is all via USB. So this is the only real way for you to add this gain via the app or via locally with your. Actually, you can't do it locally. Yes, you can. So you can add the gain locally. With that, you can. The only way to do that is when you're plugged in USB. If you're not plugged in USB, which may be what Nate's talking about here. Nate from Dragon Blogger, by the way, what's up? Another great Amazon influencer. So if you guys are not familiar, go over and follow Dragon Blogger. Lots of folks that kind of come in and out on that show. I've seen multiple different hosts on that. So go and check out Dragon Blogger for sure. But if you're plugged in XLR, then it's really just about what you're plugging into and what the interface is. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to, get you any more gain. But that's really kind of the first time I've ever heard someone say that MV7 didn't have enough gain for them. So
yeah, I thought that was interesting. Because even with using the Samsung Q2U, right, which is a great entry level XLR/USB mic, I never had any issues with the gain. And kind of like you were talking about, Chris, you can get the interface if you really want to work on that stuff. Yeah, you don't have your gain all the way up on this, and you're sounding great.
So if I hold both of these together, it'll lock.
Lock it in. Limited time only, though, so you better lock it in today.
Lock in your pre-orders, ladies and gentlemen. It's the lightning lock. God. All right. Okay, Jim. I think we've run through the carousel, and we appreciate Nate and Doug and Christoph and Garen and Catherine. Yeah. Garen's also saying here that white pop mic would not be crispy after one live show. Kiss the mic. Okay. That's true. Oh, he's talking pop filter. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. There's a reason why you keep this black or dark color, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, well. Has anybody ever shown anybody what it looks like underneath the pop filter on an MV7 or an SM7B? You guys ready for this unveiling? This is incredible.
Oh, so here we go. He said Nathan's given us his. He used the MV7 for voiceover, super crisp and warm sound quality. Unfortunately, he broke off the micro USB port, so it couldn't use that anymore. Used the Scarlett Solo and Audient Evo 4, which helped a lot. Would a cloud lifter be beneficial? Well, with the MV7, you don't need a cloud lifter.
Shouldn't. No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it broke off the micro USB port. Couldn't use that. Huh. Yeah. The Scarlett Solo, that should have that has killer preamps in it. Yep. So that should have plenty of gain for you. That's interesting. Just still not enough gain. I wonder if somehow the micro USB, not the microphone's fault. Dude, I have broken microphones for sure.
Well, that happened to my Blue Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
I had something happen with that micro USB port, and it didn't work after that. So
yeah,
my Blue Yeti got its wings. Went to heaven.
Yeah, I went to Blue Yeti heaven. Is that hell or heaven? Really? So Nate. And now Nathaniel Wilson, who, so apparently Nate Wilson, Dragon Blogger, Nathaniel Wilson, not Dragon Blogger. You have there's two different personalities happen there. I'm not an audio guy, only video. Yeah, I would wonder if somehow however you broke the USB thing, somehow it may have affected something else. And maybe take it to a professional, because your XLR out of an MV7 into that Scarlett, you should have zero issues with any sort of gain whatsoever. Like you should be able to that Scarlett should give you so much, like you should have plenty of headroom on that Scarlett Solo. So I would look into maybe testing that mic on something else besides the Scarlett and seeing if the same issues there. Then you know that it's the mic, and then maybe testing out the mic, and maybe, I don't know if getting a mic repaired is the answer or just getting a new one is. What a great opportunity to get the new white Noir from Amazon
for a limited time only.
Yes,
we don't know how limited.
Yes, yes. Would look really great with the Dragon Blogger logo on the side.
Yeah, well, see, that's
cool
the thing
logo.
with that white. You could put a nice little sticker on there.
I don't know if I'd want to do that. I like it nice and clean like this.
Yes,
I think it looks cool. Really cool, nice and
Clean and
white
crisp.
and clean. Yeah, and like I said, I wear a lot of black shirts, so it's I'm kind of digging it. It. Nate, I hope we helped you. I don't know if we did, but I do know that should be enough, and I'm not a repairman. Anyway, hope that helps. Also, if you've got another mic besides the MV7, plug it in if there's no issues with gain there. Like if you have not a comparable mic, but something close to it. If you're not getting a gain issue there, then that tells me that there's something going on with that MV7 in terms of what you may have broken with your USB thing. It's possible.
Yeah, it could be shorting something out, maybe. With that when that got broken, kind of affect it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you liking my setup. I like my setup for like every 5 minutes, and then I want to change something. But I appreciate it. The MV7 is a mic that I've used now for a little over a year, Jim. Pretty exclusively, although I'm really liking the Heil mics that we had coming in. So the PR37, which was a really, really great mic. PR40, obviously, is another great mic. I know you're a video guy, Nate. I got a new camera. I got a Sony A6100 with a Sigma lens, and so I'm digging that. That was something that I needed, but I do have a ZV-1 Sony as well that I'm now using for my overhead and the Rodecaster Pro. So that's kind of my current setup.
Until next week.
Until next week, and I find something else. And Jim, you're doing the Sony ZV-E10, right?
Yep.
And the Rodecaster Pro 2.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest, most recent update is the Rodecaster Pro 2. I really do like how it's giving me flexibility. And I think, I actually have two mics plugged into it. So I now have a second boom arm, but I'm kind of running the same thing as you. It's like, okay, how can I rearrange things? Because that Rodecaster takes up a lot more desk space than my Scarlett 2i2 did. But it also gives me a lot more options as far as sound. And I just ordered there's also an SC19 cable that allow you to bring a phone in to the Rodecaster Pro 2. So if you want to have people call in, that's actually something you could do. So we'll have to play around with that sometime, Chris, see how that works.
Yeah, Nate Wilson, why don't you call in next time we have a show, and we'll have you join on. He's a big Sony fan. He thinks the ZV-1's amazing. 960 frames per second. Some people don't know that. I didn't know that. All I know, see, okay, so Nate, so here you go. Like you're saying, you're not an audio guy, you're more of a video guy, vice versa for me. I just want a camera that, I'm like, okay, I kind of know that I need to do this and I need to adjust this a little bit. And then I watch a video that says, here's the settings you need. And then that's kind of my thing. When you start talking frames per second, stuff like that, I'm not checking out, but it's I'm not there
I'm gonna
yet.
need the manual on that, and I need it at a third grade level so I can understand what you mean.
Right. But I appreciate the comments for sure on
and
that.
thanks for following us as well.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
I'll give them a which one is it? An applause?
you cut it short. How about?
Well, I didn't want to take too long.
How about we say thanks, Nathaniel Wilson? Woo!
So that's where the Rodecaster Pro 2 is giving us some fun things to do now. We're starting to figure out these. It's kind of like kids getting a new toy. Like, ooh, I can do that. I didn't know I could do that.
Well, the thing is like when you plug in the Rodecaster Pro and you're doing all that. I had to switch because this mic is plugged in USB, but also XLR. So a lot of people don't realize too when you get a microphone that's versatile like that. There's 3 things you can actually do. This is the bottom of a black. I was about to say ZV1. Hello, MV7, Shure MV7. You've got your XLR right and your USB, so you have to if you want all the cool stuff from the microphone, so you can play with the gain and the EQ and all of that stuff. It's got to be USB, but when you're plugging in a Rodecaster Pro, it's got to be XLR. Right. So you could do both and switch between the two. But here's the third thing. A lot of people forget about this. And a lot of people go, why do I have a headphone jack on the bottom of this microphone? There's a couple reasons. Number one, you can hear what you're supposed to sound like without any latency, without going through your computer, without going through anything. You can hear how you're going to sound from that. So maybe, Nate, what you might want to do is listen to how that sounds in the headphone jack, and maybe that maybe your gain issue, you can hear it through there, and then it's something that's actually in the mic and not outside of the mic. I don't know, just a thought. But the other thing too is what I've done. I'm looking around for my cable right now. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. Hang on. I think I've got it here. I do. Wow, never knew I could find this. So you get a cable like this. This is a 1/8 inch stereo cable. I bought Amazon Basics, right? You plug this into, and it's this on both ends. And so you plug it into your headphone jack and you go into your computer and you can record. So not only are you recording, so you actually can record yourself 3 different times. Or as a backup. And so what I'll do sometimes is I'll have this go into my ATEM Mini Pro, and you can record yourself there. So that's just another thing that a lot of people don't realize you can do.
Wow, look at that, Chris Stone bringing the gems for recording audio.
I never remember to back myself up though. I mean, you can. But have I ever done it, or have I ever had to need? God, can I speak? I've never needed to do that. Okay, it's getting late. We're getting to the end of our stream, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we're here. We're talking about the mighty Shure. Jim, if you could display that bad boy for the car buying public of Amazon. This is the one and only Shure MV7 White Noir Limited Edition, launched today. Thank you to our friends at Shure for sending us one of these. And the pre-order is up. It's limited. It's limited to however many they have and however many they're going to ship. We have no idea. But it is limited. It's kind of like, when you remember when Disney used to put out their movies? And it was like, it was limited. Everybody bought those movies. It was like crazy. Right. Now it's available on streaming all the time. So whatever. People have closets full of Cinderella movies. But there you go. Thanks again, Nate, for following us, because when you follow Dealcasters, a Blue Yeti gets its wings. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us here on Dealcasters. Jim, any parting comments for the car buying public?
Yeah, make sure you check out the that new MV7. It may be something you might even want to get for someone as a gift, because before you know it, it'll be Santa Claus time. So you could surprise them. And don't fear the gear.
Oh!